Hello everyone. So let's begin our week 6. We're talking about MySQL. Why do we want to use MySQL? There are a lot of great database management softwares out there, such as MySQL, PostgreSQL, SQLite, Oracle, SQL Server, and they can all be used for most web development purposes. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit why you want to use MySQL. Maybe it has a little bit fewer advantages because it's open source, which means that it's free for anybody to use, modify, and it is also widely available. MySQL can be installed on a lot of different platforms. And it usually comes standard with most of the web hosting companies. So for example, if you want to have a website and you want to have a database attached to it, you can maybe go to GoDaddy and get your host and domain. And basically the hosting, web hosting companies, they have MySQL as part of their package. It's easy to use, means setting it up and working with MySQL database is very straightforward, and you will find that. It has a great graphical user interface as well, and it works very well with a very famous programming language which is called PHP. So basically, a lot of people would prefer to use MySQL with PHP together. So each database management system has its own strong point and weaknesses. PostgreSQL is also an open source, it's very stable, and also it has a lot of support and community behind it. SQLite is extremely fast, self-contained, and it's also free. So you can try any of these ones, but for the purpose of our class and because we want to everybody use the same thing, we use MySQL. Oracle and SQL Server, of course, is not open source. A lot of companies or big enterprises are using that, and but it is costly, definitely. So how do we install MySQL? As I said, most web hosting accounts come with MySQL pre-installed. But if we want to develop website using MySQL, we want to have the MySQL server. So we actually can make our own computer a server, and it's very easy. It's not going to take any resources of your computer. So that's why I want to make sure that everybody can actually install this, because this is a great tool for you guys to have on your computers. I'm sure, and once you go through this process, you will, a lot of my students, they fall in love with WordPress and how they can connect it to the database and all that. And they said, we never knew it's that easy. So that's why I want to make sure that you install this on your computer. And I'm going to show you how you can have your computer run as a server. So installing an entire SQL can be done in 3 ways, using LAMP, WAMP, or MAMP packages. So basically, before all these packages being introduced to us, somebody had to install Apache Server by itself, MySQL by itself, PHP by itself, and they had a lot of issues, like sometimes the installation because some driver was kind of not working with another driver or something like that. So it was a chaotic process. And I remember once before these started, I had to install those packages, and it was very difficult. So these packages actually contain everything you need to start building the database-driven websites, including Apache Server, MySQL, PHP, Perl, and even AMP. So they normally Apache, MySQL, and PHP, Perl, they all go together, and you don't need to do a lot of configuration. So I personally recommend downloading it from this site, XAMPP. So basically, you can actually go to XAMPP website, just clicking on this link. It's going to take you to the XAMPP website. And it is going to be on this website. apachefriends.org, and you can actually download and install it. So you can see if you are using Mac or Linux or Windows, you have different versions that you want to download. So this is very simple download and very simple installation. So you're going to download this from here. So you want to click there and just pick the software that you want to do. After that, I'm not going to create another video to show you how to do it because it's already out there on this YouTube video. So you can watch the simple installation, and you will install it in less than 5 minutes if you don't get some conflict. I should tell you, once you install this, some people last semester they had problem with Skype. If the Skype was on, maybe it was creating some conflict. So maybe you want to just shut down your Skype when you are using it. But you shouldn't have any problem. So let's just watch this video for a bit, and you can watch it. So you can go and watch this YouTube video. It's about 6 minutes, and it's actually showing you how you can install it in Windows 7. Of course, the rest in Mac and Linux is the same thing. It's a very simple process, and you should be able to basically install it in less than 5 minutes. So after you install it, you can see something like that. So you can go to Start and click on XAMPP Control Panel, and this will pop up. So as you can see, automatically you have actually 3 things here: Apache, MySQL, and you have FileZilla, Mercury, and Tomcat. For this, you need definitely the Apache to start and also MySQL to start. So these are your servers. And you might have a conflict with this, the port. If you have a conflict, because as I said, you might have it with the Skype and another thing, you want to make sure that you for the Norton antivirus or any security software that you have, maybe after when you have this up and running, maybe you want to make sure that it doesn't cause a conflict. If there is a conflict, let me know. We can go always to the config file and change the port. So it's not going to use port 80 or 443. We can change it to another port. But you need to have these 2 up and running. Another thing that I'm going to show you, SQL has an admin that's called phpMyAdmin. And this is a tool that we use in order to create our database as well. So we are going to learn a little bit about this phpMyAdmin, what this is. And as you can see here, you can just click on it and it will bring you here. And remember, this always, once you have this installed, it would say your local host. So you are running it on your local host. Sometimes if I go like, if I put my local host and nothing shows up, like let me just show you. I'm going to go here and just type localhost, and I'm going to shut down my server. I'm just going to put localhost. It's going to bring you here to the dashboard, to the main part. So you want to make sure that you have both the MySQL and Apache running. So if I stop these, and if I go back here and then put localhost, you see I'm not connecting. So whenever you log in and you go to localhost and you don't see anything, you know that your server is not on. So you want to make sure once I start this, then I can go to my localhost, which is bringing me to my SQL and everything. And I can go to my phpAdmin from here. So now it's working. Okay, so why do we want to use this phpMyAdmin? So let's just see why we need this type of tool. Basically, MySQL is not a database, but it's a database management system. Even if you create only one database, the MySQL server has at least two others. The most important part of it is control accounts and privileges. And sometimes for the beginners, it's very easy to use this tool because you can actually manage everything from this tool. The traditional way to interact with MySQL was to run the MySQL monitor and the other utilities such as MySQL dump, command prime, terminal windows, and all of these other ones to kind of work with MySQL. And I've learned it this way a long time ago. Right now, it's simpler, it's easier. PHPMyAdmin, it makes it easy to test our database structure and queries before going live on the internet. It can also help solve the problem of transferring database from one server to another one without worrying about all the file structure underneath it. PHPMyAdmin is different because it runs in your browser. As a result, it lacks some of the polish and speed of the other application, but it is very powerful, it's free, and so a lot of hosting companies, they are actually using this PHPMyAdmin to administer their MySQL. Root, always when you install the PHPMyAdmin or the SQL one, the root is the super user, which has all the privileges, including creating, deleting database, and adding new users. Localhost, as I just showed you, means you're using a local connection to connect to MySQL. And as you saw, when I stopped my MySQL server and my Apache server, I would not see the localhost anymore. And because you can log in as a root, you can see a full list of all the databases on the server. So this is actually, we logged in when we go to the MySQL. You can go to configure, you can go to admin, and you can see that I have logged in as a root. So I can see everything here, all the databases that have been created. By the way, if you want to run your SQL, you can have a place to write it as well. So your databases are all here. These are all my tables that I might have. These are my test tables and all that. These are my forms. I have created a forms and we will do all this. So you will see everything in here. Okay, so that is it for this part of the video. So in my next video, I'm going to show you something else about the PHPMyAdmin and also about how we can actually interact with it. Okay, see you next video. Bye-bye.